Good morning and welcome to the World Skate Games Italia 2024 for Scootering Skate and Roller Park. We are here in Ostia, just 30 kilometers outside of Rome, and today it is the men's scootering park semi-final. We have 30 of the world's best riders who've been whittled down from the 87 who went into qualification, competing for 10 final spots on Friday night. So, like I said, we are at Lido de Ostia, the historic port city just outside of Rome, and this is the Spot Skate Park, host of the World Skateboarding Championships last year, and this year, host of the World Scootering Championships for the park discipline. My name is Todd Grady, and I'll be taking you through all the action from the spot here as we go through semis and finals. So, like I said, coming up right now is the men's semi-finals. Last night we had the women's semi-finals. If you didn't catch up with them, make sure you do go back and watch that, because it was a hell of a comp, and you'll know exactly what's going on into tomorrow's finals. We've got the men's and women's scootering park finals coming up tomorrow evening from right here in Ostia. 20 of the world's finest riders will be going at it. So as the riders get ready, their final preparations, things have been a bit mixed up this morning. We've got some bad weather on its way in, possibly later on today. So we have mixed up the format a little bit to have 30 riders all in one heat. So they'll all do their first run, then all do their second run to make sure that we get that first run off if any weather does come in. They'll each get 2 runs of 40 seconds with the best run counting, and any tie breaks will be broken by the dropped run score. Each rider is scored out of 100 by 5 judges, with their top and bottom runs being dropped and an average of the rest making up their all-important score out of 100. Here's that judges panel. So our head judge overseeing everything is the supremely talented Cam Ward, both on a scooter and in the judges booth. We've got Sophie Pushka from Finland, Paul Roman from España, Jay Doughty from Australia, Danny Roberts from Great Britain, and Thane McIntyre from Norway, representing a real good spread of the world right there. And this is the judging criteria. Of course, difficulty and variety all important, but the flow and consistency and use of course have been really stressed to me by the judges here. This interesting park, different from any World Championships before it, a real bowl setup similar to the skateboarding Olympic setup, is really different to what a lot of these riders are used to. A more BMX focused park, so that use of course, the flow, the style, linking stuff together, lots of amplitude, lots of speed is what these judges are looking for, and then adding the difficulty. As you can see, slightly changeable weather here today. We're hoping to get the competition off in one go and get all of these riders the 2 important runs. So here is our first set of 10 riders. Of course, like I said, all these riders going in order through the full 30 before we do it all again with 30 again. Normally they'd be broken into 3 heats, but all going in one heat to make sure we try and get that all-important runoff and have a competition here to make sure we can break this down to the top 10 riders. That may mean that these riders might be riding a bit differently if they really think that weather's going to come in. They might be sending their biggest run in the first run, trying to get in that top 10, taking 30 down to 10, very difficult. And here are our top 10 qualifiers. Hjalte Hansen from Denmark, leading the way from Oiva Lettinen, Charley Dyson, and Esteban Clot, the recent FIS World Series champion in Montpellier. Calum Connor from the UK, setting up his scooter. Looks like he's getting a new wheel before he starts in a few runs time, but his countryman Isiah Samms will be kicking off proceedings right here with his first 40-second run. In he comes, Isiah Samms from the UK, 40 seconds on the board, straight into the huge flare, transferring into the steep bank, sending the rewinds over the spine. That's 6 foot deep shallow end and into the 10 foot deep end, carrying tons of speed into the volcano. Sends the 5 flare alley-oop back into the spine section. 18 seconds left on the clock. Pumping round. Flare. Oh, wanted the maybe double, triple. Falling out of it midair there, and not going to be Isiah's first run that he wanted. 4 seconds left on the clock. Fast plump front flip flat. His signature trick. You know he's not quite dialed in when he can't land that one. But it is an early start for these guys. We were scheduled a couple of hours later than this, but like I say, trying to get stuff in before any weather comes in, make sure that we have a competition on our hands. Isiah Samms will be hoping for that second run. Real improvement from Isiah over the last couple of years in my eyes. Always had the technical difficulty, but really adding that style in the last couple of years, making a much more flowing run and a beautiful to watch rider. Isiah's first run, not going to be his best with that slam, just 21.88 out of 100, but he knows that wasn't his best and he'll be looking to upgrade in the second run. Next rider to drop, Janosch Steinmann from Switzerland. Oh, full Swiss gear right here. I watched his qualifying run from yesterday. This guy sends so many multiples of tricks. Here we go. Back to back to back to back. Kicked rewinds. Double bar twist. Stalls it round on the world skate extension and back into the spine. Whip front scoot. Into the deep end. Pumping around those 10-foot walls. Back to the love seat. Boost huge with the tuck no-hander. Beautiful extension. Just what the judges are looking for. Into the 7-foot section now with the flare. Stomps it. 4 seconds left. Downside whip. Finishes off a banker of a first run. Looking at his qualification yesterday, on checking it out on Instagram, he's definitely got more to give, but wanted to get a run down, a run that will score. No slams. No markdowns. A fully landed run for the Swiss shredder. Looking back at those replays. Look at those. Rewind, 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 rewind. JD in the park not getting the benefit of the rewinds there. Definitely needed. 37.86 for Janosch Steinmann's first run. The judges giving themselves plenty of room there because we have the world's finest riders coming. Chirstopher Barcelo is next to drop. Fresh off a preparation camp at Woodward in the USA. In he comes. So much speed over the love seat. Absolutely huge. Massive whip front scoot into the transfer, into the bank with the double overhead. Massive inward into the world skate extension, carrying tons of speed into that 10-foot deep end. Big extension on the Superman deck grab over the volcano into the front side lip slide, cruises into the spine. Still got 10 seconds left on the clock. Stonks the flare whip into his final few seconds. Chirstopher Barcelo's first run, solid right there from the American. Looking back at those replays then, love that. Oh, was that with the Twizzler? Gets the bar twist in there as well. Absolutely gorgeous. Huge amplitude, tons of flow, and the difficult tricks. Chirstopher Barcelo looked at that judge's sheet, knew what he had to give. 45.66 though. The judges are expecting to go big on this round right here, giving themselves lots of room to play with. Of course, it's not about that score. Very difficult to compare between other competitions. It's all about what the judges saw on the day and how the riders compare to each other and what order they slot in. Alex Gonzalez now, 3-time Spanish Park national champion. Big frontside lip slide over that extension into the backside lip slide in the 10-foot deep end, making that thing look massive. Well, it is huge. It's an absolute wall of concrete. 20 seconds left. Oh, stomps down, slips the foot. Lucky for those knee pads on Alex Gonga right there. Double flare to finish it up, but slides out. Not going to be Alex Gonzalez's finest first run right there. But these guys know they've got to push it. They've got to take 20 guys out here to move into that top 10. Let's hope no injuries from those couple of slams for Alex Gonzalez on his first run. Hope he hasn't done anything to that wrist. Some heavy hits from those two, that slip foot and that slam, when you're coming down from that kind of amplitude. The three-time Spanish national champion has definitely got more in the tank, can land both of those tricks and add some more. A 28.15 slots him into third at the moment. Still plenty of riders to come. Team Canada now for Logan Finch. Recently took second place at their national championships. Been hitting the streets of Rome over the last couple of days on his Instagram. Massive over the love seat to start things off, pushing more into the 7 foot. Big inward. Brighter inward, but couldn't quite stick it. Gets the flare whip, but you feel he's just cruising this one out now after the slip foot. Ooh, lands on the head tube. Not going to be the first run that he wanted. Oh, these riders finding it hard to dial in this early in the morning. It is tough to wake up, eat your cornflakes, and then get straight in the park. Not a lot of warm-up for these guys this morning, but all important in these outdoor venues that we get the comps down. These riders travel from across the globe. Want to get that competition in. Logan Finch's first run, not going to be his winner. But definitely lots of amplitude and lots of promise for run number 2. Next we move on to Camiel Wajer, the Dutch and Belgian joint national champion. Recently retook that title back in May. In he comes, Camiel. Quad whip straight into the steep bank there. Now in the 7 foot, setting up for a 360 front flip over the volcano. Quarter to quarter, unreal. Big disaster in the deep end. Backside lip slide transferring from the hip into the extension. Fast plant front flare. Or was it the fast plant? That's a crazy trick. Just popping into that front flip 180. And the dub flare, not enough speed, not what he wanted, but loads of promise there. Love that 360 front flip. That is a tight transition to fit such a huge trick into. Big whip front scoot. There's the 360 fronty. Look how much he has to tuck in to catch that transition to land. A lot of these riders missing a jump box right here. Transition into this slightly different kind of park than they're used to. Normally been a more BMX style park, but more of a skate style park for this World Championships. I'm all for it. Brings a different rider to the fore, like Hjalte and Oiva yesterday in qualification. Riders that perhaps wouldn't have been in the finals of World Championships previously, using this course in an amazing way. Camiel Wajer steps into third, but not a huge score for him as we head over to the body varial king, Mr. J Sweet from the UK. Recently took best trick at the Alley Fest in Adrenaline Alley in his homeland with an insane nothing front scoot to nothing front scoot. Crazy trick. Into the 7 foot. 30 seconds left. There's the nothing front scoot over the spine. He's got them on lock every time, like clockwork. 20 seconds left for Jay Sweet. Oh no! Sliding out on the little lip slide, just a transition trick. He was looking ahead to the trick he wanted over the spine. Sometimes you got to concentrate on that trick you're doing. There's the crazy body varial. Swinging it round him like Bruce Lee. Jay Sweet getting that final trick in. I believe he calls that the sweet flip. There's the nothing front scoop, grabbing it out front. Like I said, just recently did double. Caught it, threw it again. Absolutely insane. But looking forward to Jay's second run. I'll slip the foot on the disaster in the deep end as well. Not the first run Jay would have wanted. .12.14 for Jay Sweet as we hand over to Brandon Watson. Young rider out of the USA, riding in Southern California, regularly training with Revin Cachat in his backyard setup. Gets the brighter butter, 30 seconds, cruising into the love seat now, sliding over the top, buttery smooth. Bri flip, double whip, backside lip slide on the extension, double finger whip. Oh, loses the speed though. Falls out of the flare. Keeping going though. Knows there's not a lot of huge scores on the board. Knows he hasn't got a lot of time to get ready for his second run. Using that time on the park to rev himself up for that second run. Some big moves there. Falling out of that flare, losing speed a bit. Judges will not like that. But if you can put that all together into a buttery smooth run. Oh, that frontside lip slide was beautiful. Backflip drop in off the volcano element. Moves into fourth. But yeah, next one, like he says right there, next time I'm gonna get it. Alex Perez Ortuno. 2021 Junior World Champion, stepped up to the elite ranks, doing it for Spain. What's he got for us right here? In he comes. Huge on the volcano, starts off. Oh, did he want to clear the full channel? That would have been sick. Cruising into the hip, into the deep end. Little lip onto that pool coping. Raising that difficulty. 540 flare right in the corner. Yow! Triple in the flare. Whips for days from Ortuno. But wanted the front flare, couldn't quite stomp it. A fall right on the buzzer will probably drop the score of that run right down. Unlucky for Perez Ortuno. Big first run. We've seen a lot of promise in these first runs. Gets the hug from Kareem. Managing that Spanish team. Absolute legend of the game. Lots of elements here of huge difficulty from Alex Perez Ortuno. So many technical combos, often whilst upside down. But couldn't quite come up with that front flare. Perez Ortuno still goes into second with a 42.79. That late fall, lots of difficulty raising that score up. Now we have the first of our heavy hitters. Your reigning World Roller Games champion from 2 years ago in Argentina, Jamie Hull, took that World Championships, the last champion at a World Roller Games, from Great Britain, from Widnes. No! Starts off with a fall. Wanted a fast plant front flip off that little London gap. Couldn't quite get it. Front flip, tuck no hander, landing deep. That'll be it from Jamie. Oosh. First of those heavy hitters and not getting what he wanted right there. Needs to step up through these ranks. Of course, the scores from qualifying don't matter here at all. Any of these 30 riders has the opportunity to go through. But the closer you are to the top, the more confidence you can have, the more riders you've seen go in front of you, the more of a strategy you can have. Because in these big fields, strategy does come part of it. Yes, once you're through to the final, you can go all out, full on for that win. Going and chatting to, there's a few World Championships between that little crowd there. Jamie with one, Jordan and Kota with pretty much the rest. Yeah, incredible gang to go talk to after you've just fallen in your first run of semi-finals. If you need to be built up, those are the guys who know how to do it. So there's where we stand at the moment after our first 10 riders. Chirstopher Barcelo leads the way with a 45.66. Probably the only rider to get a full rundown without a fall. And still lots of space for improvement according to the judges right here. And likely as well as we move through these qualifiers. Of course, we have 30 riders. Finishing up with our number one qualifier, Hjalte Hansen. So we've got 2.5 minutes of warm-up for the next 10 riders now. Like I said, they're all going through doing their first runs, but we are still letting each 10 rider group warm up. Looking back at some of those some of those highlights from the first 10 riders. I believe that this is our leader, Mr. Bordello. Camiel Wajer not getting the run that he wanted. There's the 360 front flip. Probably the biggest trick we've seen so far. And incredible to see that done over a tiny little well, it's a big volcano, but these guys often throwing that trick over humongous jump boxes. Alex Perez Ortuno, love that transition into the deep end. Absolutely terrifying, that 10-foot wall with the pool coping on top. Straight across the park and into that 540 flare. But fell on that final attempt of the front flare in the 7-foot. Meaning that his run was not what it wanted to be. The Danish fans out in force for their number one qualifier, and happy Hjalte Hansen. As we look across the park and as the next 10 riders warm up. So if you've just joined us, we are here at the Spot in Ostia, just outside of Rome. 30 kilometers outside of the center of the capital, just south of the airport for Roma. And we are at this gorgeous concrete dream of a skate park. Host of the 2023 World Championships of Park Skateboarding from World Skate. And this year hosting the World Championships of Skate, Scooter and Roller Freestyle. We are in the midst of the semi-finals of men's elite park scootering with 10 riders down, 20 riders left to go. Slight change to format and timetabling today. because of a risk of weather. Doesn't look like it at the moment. Beautiful blue skies, but thunderstorms are forecast, so trying to get this semi-final done and trying to get a ride in for everybody. Estonia are next with Maksim Tihhomirov. The Estonian fans out. Tihhomirov has been all over Europe this year, really putting in the work. He's got him up to set himself up to 26th in the Pro Tour rankings with a good showing at Beast, and he drops in for his first of 40-second runs. Massive over the channel gap, transferring over the love seat. Maksim going huge right here into the deep end. And a huge flare whip rewind. Pumping into that 10-foot deep end, into the volcano. Round into that 7-foot once again. Just the straight air this time, setting himself up for that transfer into the steep bank. Oh, sends out the finger whip. Is that kickless to kicked whip? Absolutely crazy Tihhomirov. One of the first riders to put down a complete first run. Real solid from the Estonian. That work across Europe this summer is really paying off. Love that transfer, crossing the love seat, landing in the 7-foot. I believe this may put Tihhomirov into the lead of our men's elite park semi-final. And it does. A big jump here, 15 points, 60.35. Puts him 15 points above the next best. Back to Britain now. Tom Nieb from the northwest. Tom Nieb, 40 seconds on the clock. Drops in with the backflip whip drop in on the steep bank. Oh, lands low on the rewind flare. Triple downside. Oh, with the blunt store on the pool coping. Filthy. Falls out of the front side lip slide. Looking to go around the corner maybe there in the 7-foot. Couple of errors there. I mean, this will not be the big score Tom was hoping for in his first run. Dub flare on the buzzer. Doing it for the crowd and getting himself ready to throw down in run number 2. What a way to start things off though, getting upside down, flip whipping into the bank. There's the dub to finish up. Again, lots of promise here from Tom Nieb. But it's getting to that point now where we're going to need to start to see runs going down. If we do have to cut this competition short, these first runs will be all there is. Always a risk on an outdoor venue with weather incoming. But fingers crossed Tom Nieb will get to throw down those big tricks in run number 2 and lace them together into one huge run. Leander Viltoft. Another of the Danish riders ready to drop in. Big bri flips in and out the kickless rewind. Stomps the inward, then the transfer over the love seat. Tail grab. Bar to bar, into the hip with the front side lip. Whip in, sending it back with a finger whip. Triple over the spine, into the flare bars. Ooh, just about holds it together. Into the buzzer. Not sure if that'll cost him right on the buzzer there. But solid first run from Leander Viltoft. Knew he needed to keep it upright and did so. Love that. Big bright flip. Sending it out. Bringing it back kickless. Leander not sticking around to see his score. He's just off. He's done. Goes second with a 53.5 second 7. Next rider to drop from Montpellier, France. Always the local who gets the biggest scream at FIS Montpellier, the last Pro Tour event of this series. Timon Pharabod. 16th in the current Pro Tour rankings. Let's see what he's got for us in run number 1 here in the semi-finals of the World Championships. Oh! Absolutely glorious alley-oop lip slide over the love seat. 7 foot up there. Cruising like he's floating on air. Big flare with the bar twist perhaps. And cruising across the spine, carrying that speed into the corner. Yes, that's how you use this kind of park. Use the pockets to gain speed. Into the deep end once again with the pocket air. Table. Backside feeble, slides out. That's an incredible use of this park. That is how you rip around the spot in Ostia right there. That huge alley-oop spin into the lip slide. Yo. 270 in. Boosting high. And then into that transfer flare bar twist into the bank. Timon Pharabod. Looking towards the judges. Goes first with a 75.62. Another huge step up. 15 points ahead, just like I was saying. These judges really want to see this park used as it was intended. Oh, and what a way to hand over to your countryman, cityman, and brother, Fantin Pharabod, also from Montpellier, France, reigning junior world champion from 2023. Moved into the elite ranks. Repping the tricolor on his sleeve right here. Let's see what Fantin has got for the Pharabod crew. Transferring to the deep end, over the hip the hard way, going up high. Pumping round the corners of the spine section into that 7 foot once again with enormous amplitude. Just pausing up high. Beautiful 3 downside whip, snatching the late side, down heel I believe. Snatching the late bar, massive inward to late bar out of the 10 foot. 5 seconds left on the clock, headed back towards that deep end, front side lip slide round the corner. Yo, Fantin Pharabod. Loving that first run, and so am I. What a way to end up, that lip slide round the corner on the pool coping. Filthy. Huge, just stopped up there, looked down, waved hey to his friends. Frontside lip slide round the pool coping. Yes. There's the kickless rewind out over the heel as well. Waves to the crowd. Showman. The Pharabods setting this semi-final on fire right here. Pharabod v Pharabod. Montpellier versus Montpellier. Looks aloft to the judges. And he goes ahead of his brother by 3 points. 78.13. The big guns have entered the chat. Colin Mclean is next to ride. Had the pleasure of seeing this guy live in the flesh at the Core Invitational a couple of years ago, or last year. Took out best trick with some insane maneuvers. Hit tricks I'd never seen before. Let's see what the Americans got for us right here. Starts off in the pocket. Whip rewind in the pocket. Oh, and the backflip inward Stanley flip over the volcano, but falls out of the sky. Over the love seat. Bar rewind toboggan. Frontside lip slide round the deep end corner. Into the volcano one more time. Now into the spine section. Backflip tail grab. Yo. Colin Mclean showing us those unique maneuvers. Obviously the slam early will cost him big. But a lot of promise. Great use of course. Plenty of amplitude and speed. That's what the judges want to see. Especially when you're adding in the difficulty. Those crazy tricks just got back seat on that Stanley flip, that backflip inward. The fakie over. You know he's got something else out of that as well. Colin Mclean, aka Colin McDirty on Instagram. Still goes 4th place with a 4. Definitely a threat. Handing over to his countryman now, Christian Contreras. 19 years of age on Wildemar. What's Christian got for us in his first 40-second run? Great start transferring in, getting tons of speed for that love seat transfer. Round the pocket with the board slide. Whip into the extension lip slide. There's the buttercup transfer into the deep end now. Trying to carry as much speed as he can back into the volcano. 10 seconds left now for Christian Contreras. Yo. Stomps the flare whip to finish up. Christian Contreras is hyped on that one. Solid first run from Contreras. Need to get some of those slow-mos. Some real crazy maneuvers in there from the American. Oh, nice with the double whip back out. There's the brighter inward. Way to go, Christian. Yes. Love to hear the fans in the crowd. Christian Contreras goes 3rd with 70.86 from the American. Next up, we hand over to Harvey Perkins of the UK. Harvey Perkins readies himself for his first run of 2. Bar whip in. That same awesome line carrying tons of speed into that love seat transfer. Alley-oop flare on the steep bank. Oh, 360 double bar. Bus driver in it right there. Absolutely filthy. Huge trick in the deep end as well. That 10-foot pool coping ramp is terrifying when you're at the top of it. Pumping around the corners, straight into that backflip, bar, over the volcano. Harvey Perkins. Dustin Vessels, German legend, first over to congratulate him. He is stoked and relieved to get that first run down. All in one piece. Very clean. Flare, bar twist. That speed round the deep end. Bar, backflip over the super tight transition of that volcano. No mean feat at all. 3 tricks whilst upside down over a difficult transition. That is the difficulty and diversity that these judges are looking for. And they react. 76.77 puts him into second place behind Pharabod. Splits the brothers. And we go back to the USA. Nils Qvarford. 19 years of age. Lots of noise from the American fans as he drops in with that same line. Plenty of speed into the love seat transfer. Pumping over the volcano. Huge double overhead in the transfer into the steep bank as we head into the deep end. Front side lip slide round the deep end corner. Flare double whip. Rewind over the spine. 9 seconds left with the backside lip slide, slides out. Pumping round the corner, one last hit. Nothing front scooter flip over the volcano. Such a shame for that slide out on the lip slide. One of his easier tricks of that incredibly difficult run. Will mark him down, but he did retain the momentum. And he clearly has a great line through this bowl. He's figured out Ostia right here. Sending out the whips, catching it in Superman, sending them back the other way. A nothing front scooter flip. Spends so much time touching absolutely nothing in that trick, just hovering through the air. Feeling like there's no gravity. 77.18. The judges did recognise that he retained that momentum, and it was a hugely difficult run. Even with that slip, he slots into second place with a 77.18. Roomet Saalik, the Estonian legend right here. Double threat on the BMX and the scooter. 720 bar spin to start things off on the volcano. Outrageous, how do you do such a big trick on such a tiny quarter-to-quarter? In the pocket. Yo! What a use of the coping. Frontside board slide. Backside board slide around the corner. Truck driver over the spine. Oh, just loses a bit of speed into the final 5 seconds now. Lip slide. Bar spin turns it round. And a tuck no hander 180 over the spine to finish up. Wow, if he can land that run without losing the speed in a couple of little spots there, that is outrageous. Love that lip pop out of the quarter pipe coping into a trick into the bank. This, wow. Whipping into the bank as well. Not many riders going fakie. Beautiful place to use it right at the end of the run as well. Tuck no hander to fakie over that 6-foot spine. Oh, has anybody got a vet? Because these swans are sick. Roomet Saalik, always a grin on his face. Went down hard in his qualifying run as well. Bounced back up to do it in the second run. Make his way through to semis. Because this is a guy who is a perennial favourite. 71.85. The judges really looking for that momentum, speed, as well as the difficulty of tricks. And I think lost that momentum and speed in a couple of places there. Those are some serious goggles there, my man. Cyclops look from the Danish fans. As we have a look at our current leaders after 20 riders. Fantin Pharabod leads his brother in fourth with a 78.13. Really showing that the Isiah Park is a big, big part of this right here. Nils Qvarford of the USA currently sits in second ahead of Harvey Perkins from Great Britain. Timon Pharabod, Roomet Saalik, Christian Contreras, Maksim Tihhomirov, Colin Mclean, Leander Viltoft, and Chirstopher Barcelo make up your current top 10 with 10 riders still to drop. Three minutes warm up for the final 10 riders in their first runs as we take a look at some of the highlights from that first run. Harvey Perkins right here currently sits in third place. These top riders, some of the only ones to currently get a completely clean run down. We've still got riders in the top 10 without that clean run. Here's your number one, your first place sitter right there. Just pressing pause in the middle of a trick 6 feet out the top of a 7-foot ramp. Holding his scooter upside down. Unreal from the Frenchman right here. These Pharabods going back to back, brother to brother. The younger and reigning junior world champion currently leading the way here in the elite men's semi-finals. Timon Pharabod, the old eldest man in the pink lid right here, still sitting in fourth, still sitting pretty and making his way through to that final as things stand. But there are 10 of the world's best riders still left to drop. Jack Walsh will be next, Simon Jensen, Calum Connor, Jordan Clark, multiple world champion, Jayden Sharman, the current Pro Tour ranking number 1, Revin Cachat, Esteban Clot, Charley Dyson, Oiva Lehtinen, and our number 1 qualifier, Hjalte Hansen, will be first to drop. Will be last to drop, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. So if you didn't catch it or just join us, we have changed the format about a bit today. We are starting a little bit earlier. Have already begun. 20 riders down, 10 left to go in their first runs. We are doing all the runs in one go and then going through to everybody's second runs rather than being broken up into heats where they did one then the second. This is because we have impending thunderstorms over Rome. And wanted to make sure that everybody got one run down before any weather arrived. There's your number 2 qualifier, Oiva Lehtinen from Suomi, Finland. Esteban Clot, your number 3 ranked on the Pro Tour at the moment, won the last stop of the Pro Tour at Fils Montpellier back in early June, late May. The biggest competition in France. Huge for the Frenchman to take that, his first Pro Tour win, and places him well in third in that Pro Tour rankings. This is the last ranking event of the current season. So as well as taking the World Championship win, you could go into 2025 as a world number 1. Jack Walsh, shredder in everywhere you put him in the streets, put him in the park. Dude can absolutely throw down. Just 16 years of age still, and a real omni talent. Eats up everything you put in front of him. Dropping in to the deep end with the inward. Oh my days. Yo, what a line. 270 with the whip And the backside lip slide round the deep end. Filthy. Pocket error. Whip toboggan by the looks of things. Oh, using that little ramp up again with the lip slide. Rewind out the whips. Whip back, lip on the extension, non-stop. 360 tail grab with the nose dip. 6 seconds left on the clock. Readjusts his glasses into the blunt. 180 over the spine. Yes, Jack! Repping the national team's soccer kit. Doing it for the USA. Mia Catalano first to say well done. Reigning street world champion. Yo, that back foot heel catch. Oh my days. Beautiful. Whip back lip on the world skate extension. 360 toboggan, dipping it out over the volcano. Already looking at the replay. See where he can improve. Super sick. And starting off with that inward into the deep end. Yeah, incredible first run. And straight into the replays. No messing about. Go hydrate, Jack. That's all important. Jack Walsh just went into first, people. Just waiting for it to be confirmed on our main screens. But yes, 79.45. Your current leader is from the US of A, and his name is Jack Walsh. Jack Walsh really stepping up the game right there. Another point and a half put on top of Pharabod, who already had an incredible run. As we head to Denmark now, Simon Jensen. The Danes really well represented here in Ostia. Our number one qualifier from Denmark, Simon Jensen, making it inside the top 10 in qualification. Starts off with the bar, I believe that's whip kickless rewind over the volcano. Out onto the little world skate quarter outside of the park. And transferring back into the bank. Tons of speed now into the love seat gap. Backside lip slide over it. Stomps the inward. And that little frontside Bry whip, I believe, into the final 10 seconds. Lip slide into the 7 foot. Tons of speed back into the volcano. No skips it. Into the bank with a fast plant front flare. Right on the buzzer. 540 flare. Screams aloft to the Danish fans. Simon Jensen is pumped. Oh, give me a slow-mo replay of that scream out of the massive final trick. The 540 flare. Oh, tail grab out. Love this little combo. Disaster on the tight quarter pipe. And sending the Bry whip. Fast plant front flare. Quick into the 540 flare and screams. Yes, Simon. Simon looks aloft at the board. And he had every right to scream. 81.45 moves Simon Jensen into the lead of the semi-finals. The Dane leads once again. The Danish contingent getting it done right here. From Denmark across the North Sea to Great Britain, Calum Connor's up on the railings on that crazy tight little world skate quarter in the corner of the park. Calum Connor, owner of a few unique moves. What's he got for us in his first run? Massive transfer, starts things off with a huge buttercup and so much amplitude in the big cruisy Bry. 360 front flip over the volcano, lands deep but carries the speed somehow. Pumps round the 7 foot now. Into the spine section. Love seat transfer. No! Slides out with the whip kickless rewind double. Would have been beautiful. Lots of props from the crowd. Bigging him up, picking him up off the floor. The young Brit. Just getting the final little flare double. Carries so much speed, has so much amplitude. Still just 17 years of age. The young gunner from the UK coming through. We'll be hoping we get that second run in. Looking good at the moment, blue skies up ahead. Love that way to start the run. That's a scary transfer into that 7-foot bank. Kind of an onward rotation on that overhead. Whilst huge amplitude out the top, but falling out of that whip rewind over the love seat will put Connor into 16th place with only a 32.75. Plenty to come if he gets a second run in. And on to our most decorated rider in the field by far, the current reigning world champion, number 2 in the Pro Tour rankings, second in Barcelona last year, Jordan Clark out of Sussex in the UK, starts off with the backflip drop in, 360 bar, massive over the volcano. Flare whip bar twist, 30 seconds left. Oh, spinning both ways through the mini ramp section, 540 flare, 360 leg sweep bar, whip, backside lip slide on the extension, front flip over the volcano, backside lip slide turns it round into the 7-foot now, carrying some speed, downside triple, fast plant front flare into the steep bank. Beautiful first run from Jordan, who also fell in his first run yesterday. Brought it back together to get inside that top 10 in qualifying and gets his first run down. All important here as we have the fears about the weather to get that first run down. Let's look back. There's the backflip drop in on the steep bank to start with. Truck driver. That's a great sequence there, just nothing missed. So the multiple world champion awaits his first score. Will it be enough to put him inside that top 10? Currently he's a 59.65, but plenty of riders left to come who could knock him out. So wants to be well inside that top 10. Taking their time. Still waiting on that first score from JC. For JC, judges having a real good think about it. Solid first run, and you know that is Jordan's solid first run, puts him into second place, 81.33, behind Jensen, ahead of Jack Walsh. And next, our number 1 rider in the current Pro Tour world rankings, Mr. Jayden Sharman. Second earlier in the season at Feast, won Barcelona last year, massive start, huge amplitude. Pumping round the corner in the 7-foot, transfer with a massive channel gap. Yes, all the way straight into the inward over the love seat, but slides out. No, the man from Corby goes down. That slick Italian concrete, those snakes jumping out of it, taking him out. 7 seconds left on the clock, but he's going to call it there. This guy, incredible ride over the last year. Never out of the podium. We'll be praying for that second run to come round. Praying for that weather to stay away. Because he has everything in the locker worthy of putting himself into the top of this finals list. Wants to be under those lights tomorrow night in front of the world, gunning for his first world championships, turning that number 1 in the Pro Tour into the win of the world champs. has won on the biggest stage, won Barcelona, Extreme Barcelona this time last year. But a 40.99 will not currently see him in that final. He needs that second run. And he needs that weather to stay away. Revin Cachat then. Just 13th in the Pro Tour rankings at the moment, but with results far, far above that station. Starts things off going the opposite way than we've seen most go over that huge love seat gap. Beautiful, no! Oh, so nearly rode out of that, falling from the 10-foot coping straight to the flat. Ouch. Gets back up, the Californian. What an incredible bounce back from a huge slam. How he pulled himself back up, dusted himself off in seconds and got back in to finish his run. But knows he doesn't get much time to practice on this course, especially by himself. Will need that second run, does it for the crowd. Revin, hope you're okay. Huge slam from the deep end right there. I met him for the first time at Extreme Barcelona last year. Very likeable dude with an incredible style. Tons of amplitude. And big results coming, moving his way up that World Skate Pro Tour ranking with every comp he enters. Revin's first score of 53.59 will not currently see him in the final. But a man who definitely can put a run together that will see him under the lights tomorrow is the Frenchman, Mr. Esteban Clot. Took the biggest competition in France earlier in the year, Fils Montpellier, in front of 250,000 fans over the weekend. Esteban, first run, World Skate Games, semi-final 2024. So much speed for the flare over the love seat gap into the deep end, into the 7-foot. Sends out the whip, brings it back kickless. Landed a bit lower than he wanted, trying to build that speed back in by heading into the deep end. Pocket air, front scoot whip. Beautiful. No, sliding out in the final few seconds. Wasn't quite the run he wanted to put together. A few deep landings, not carrying as much speed as we know the Frenchman can. Dude is like helium when he really links it up. Lands super high and just glides. But was muscling together a solid first run there. Shame about that final slam in the last few seconds. Huge. Nobody holds it out there quite like Esteban does. Brings that whip back and the pocket air, the 90-degree rotation, pulling back, pulling it round, so much harder than it looks. He makes it look absolutely floaty. But a 15th for him, for Clot. Not going to do it. Again, hoping for that second run. We're into our top 3 qualifiers now, and like Jack Walsh, Charley Dyson is wearing the football shirt of his country folk. The England shirt repping for the Britishman. Yo! Oh my days, Charley. That is why he qualified third. Really enjoying this part right here. Frontside bar spin to set up to the bar triple. 540 flare alley-oop. Big extension out of the top of the 7-foot. Massive flare. Heel whip. No! Falling out of the... I believe that was a 3-flip. Thought he was going to get taken out by his own scooter there, but great to see a smile on young Charley Dyson's face. Still just 16. He's been in the sport so long. Have a scroll back through Charley's YouTube output over the years. was on Britain's Got Talent as a very young kid, doing stuff that he should not have been able to do at that age, and has just continually progressed. His family always super, super proud and leading the cheer everywhere he goes. And great to see him out here qualifying third for semi-finals, but that will not see him through with the slam. Goes 12 for the 55.47. He knows he needs to put together a clean run, but as he showed in qualies, he's fully capable of that in the second run. Two riders left in this first set of runs then. Oiva Lehtinen of Suomi, Finland is next to drop. Your number 2 qualifier. Transfers into the 7 foot with a whip round the pocket. Bar twist with a huge backside lip slide into the volcano. Back to the 7 foot. Massive downside heel whip. Into the hip transfer, bar spin, lip slide on the front side, and the pocket air. Bar to bar, transferring. Oh, just about gets away with the 540. Sick backside board slide round the pocket. 50-50, Bry over the love seat. And another Bry finishes up. Not the cleanest run from Oiva, but shows you how he qualified in second with those crazy lines. Unique use of park. And huge diversity. Those pocket airs really up in that difficulty as well. You don't see even some of the top park riders in the world doing those because they are so difficult to get right. Especially in a new park. Shame about that slipped foot. Kept the momentum. We have seen that if you keep the momentum, you can just about keep hold of a decent score. There was a bar spin in that 540. Losing the foot, but getting it just back on in time. Oiva Lehtinen, our number 2 qualifier from Finland, will slot into the bubble position, 10th. Currently just enough to see him through, but our next rider could easily push him out. He's your number 1 qualifier, Happy Hjalte Hansen. Absolute double threat in the street and the park. Extreme Barcelona last year, was in finals. Absolutely threw down in both competitions, did double duty. And Hansen, in he comes, your number 1 qualifier. Starts off with the Bry flip drop in. Transfer over the love seat with the bar, back lip. Backside feeble, dipping out, the tail grab, toboggan, into the deep end. No! Hansen falls out of the sky over the volcano. Somehow jumps back up and gains so much speed. He's really worked out how to squeeze every ounce of speed out of this difficult to ride osteopark. But when you get it right, it is a thing of beauty. Goes down again. Hansen will not bump Lehtinen out of that top 10 at the moment, but we ready ourselves for run number 2. The park is currently dry, so we will, by all accounts, run a second run, which is absolutely what was planned. 2 runs for everybody. Best run counts is the format we are looking for. We've changed that up a little bit by making everybody get their first runs out of the way, or get their first runs done, so we have a score on the board. Hansen's will not be what he was hoping for here. The number 1 qualifier, just a 44.73. Frustrated with himself there. Knows that he didn't need much. Yeah, let's go round again. So, your top 10 at the moment. It wasn't Hansen's time, but his countryman Simon Jensen leads the way with an 81.45. Jordan Clark, multiple world champion, in second, 81.33. Jack Walsh from the USA, 79.45. Fantin Pharabod, Nils Qvarford, Harvey Perkins, Timon Pharabod, Roomet Saalik. And Christian is your next. Let's have a look down that list. Christian Contreras, Oiva Lehtinen rounds out the top 10. Just on the bubble, Maksim Tihhomirov, Colin Mclean and Charley Dyson. then lots of riders further down this list that we could expect to step it up in the second run. Charley Dyson, definitely one who could bring it back in. Revin Cachat, all of these riders, in fact, could bring it back in. Incredible list of names, top 30 in the world right now. Revin Cachat, Chirstopher Barcelo, Hjalte Hansen down in 17th, our number 1 qualifier, could easily see himself at the top of that list at the end of run number 2. Esteban Clot, feast champion. And Alex Perez Ortuno and Jayden Sharman, your number one ranking Pro Tour rider, is down in 20th. They're your top 20 at the moment. Still one more run to go though. Best run counts. And here are your top 3 at the moment.
Now, hopefully, we will have enough time for all second runs. The riders already know it. If it starts raining at any point during the second runs, we're going to have to cancel all second runs. We'll only keep first run scores. For the moment, the weather's on our side. Let's hope it will stay that way until the end of the 30th riders second run. All right, another minute and 10 seconds.
Ricordiamo a tutti che a differenza dei giorni passati, a causa dell'impossibile tempo oggi, abbiamo fatto la prima run di tutti gli atleti e inizieremo ora con le loro seconde run. Nel caso dovesse avere della pioggia, evidentemente non riuscire a finire tutte le seconde run, il punteggio che verrà votato sarà il punteggio di prima run. Quindi queste seconde run non varranno a meno che tutti i rider riusciranno a concludere la propria seconda run.
And of course, the riders already know about it. They already know that it might be a possibility.
Già lo sanno i nostri rider.
But I have faith, Will.
I have faith it's looking good, it's pretty hot.
Exactly, it's looking good. Now the other riders have faith as well. So we're going to keep that positive energy to make sure all riders get their second run. And in the meantime, I'm going to ask everybody to please stop riding because we're going to start right now with run number 2, group number 1. We have Isiah Samms. Who's back? For his second run. Just waiting for Kyle's thumbs up.
So, if you have just joined us, we are in the midst of the semi-finals of the Men's Elite Scootering Park Championship, World Championships here in Ostia, just outside of Rome, Italia, at the World Skate Games Italia 2024. This is second runs. Isiah Samms from the UK is first to go, first to drop on his second and final 40-second run. Oh, just steals that trick. So nearly under-rotated, but just gets away with it into the volcano. Something not quite right for Isiah there. Not what he wanted. Perhaps feeling an injury right there. Difficult to know. We'll try and find out what's happened to Isiah there. Maybe just not feeling it on that second run. Isiah Samms will not be able to step up from that 28th place. Just a 4.69 for his second run. Not going to move himself up as we hand over to Janosch Steinmann. Our sole Swiss representative. A solid scene out in Switzerland, always represented on the world stage. Janosch Steinmann doing it for Switzerland right here. Check out the rewinds right here, just loves to add an extra trick. But perhaps added a little slip foot on that one right there. Back to back bar twists over the spine. Falling out of that one. No, Janosch will not be able to put together a second run. JD getting him up off the deck, making sure he throws down for the crowd, making the most of his semi-finals appearance at the World Championships. So started off big, the bar to bar, then goes rewind, 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 but does slip the foot, nearly goes OTB over the bars, and not the way he wanted to start his second and final run. Of course, best run counts, he's got that 37.86 in the first run. That will be his score, and awesome to get through to the World Championships semi-finals, top 30 in the world. Chirstopher Barcelo was our early leader. Currently back in 16th place. Let's see what he can do to step up into that top 10. Oh, not how he would have wanted to start. Awesome first line, but landing low. A lot of the Americans using that line. Clearly working together as a team to work this park out. It's a beast, but once you tame it, it really can reward you. Massive Superman deck grab. Love the extension. Bringing in the whip in the middle of the flare right there. And the umbrella flip, Bry whip. Chirstopher Barcelo didn't give himself the best start to that run. Landing low over the love seat. Judges want to see that flow, want to see that speed carried. Here we go. Just not getting the trick he wanted. You see him remove that hand as though he's about to throw something, but it wasn't quite right. Gets the whip, but lands low. And hey, you've got to go from second 1 to second 40. Full power in this park. Otherwise it will not work. A 39.07 does not see Barcelo step up. He'll stay 16th.
All right. Up next, el próximo rider desde España.
Alex Gonga, your 3-time Spanish Park champion. Stepping over the Mediterranean to Italy. 40 seconds on the clock for his second run. Didn't get the first run he wanted either. Can he put together a second run here? 25 seconds left with the backside lip slide in that 10-foot deep end. Big downside heel whip. Whip rewind. Yo! Getting upside down. The scooter stays the right way up. The back flip in with the Stanley flip. Back to back flips in the double flare. Alex Gonzalez looking to step up that 28.15 from down in 26th place. Still clearly not quite happy with it. Slipped a foot right at the end on the buzzer there. Had a couple of straight airs where I think he wanted a trick. Dead sailors. But there's some crazy technicality in there from the 3-time champion of Spain. Yeah, some straight airs there. You know he would have wanted to be tricking everyone. He's still a young guy, but he's very, very capable and qualified in the park competition. Only a 32.36 means that he won't move up. From Spain across the Atlantic to Canada. Logan Finch, number 2 in across all of Canada a few weeks ago. Starts off with the bar spin and love that love seat transfer with the toboggan. Transferring into the bank. Brighter inward. Landing low over the spine though. The flare needs the push to get the speed back up. 5 flare, sticks it. Into the deep end, trying to get that speed back towards the volcano. Pumps over it into the 7 foot. Still trying to get that speed back. Like I say, this course can come back to bite you if you don't treat it right. Difficult, spend a lot of time getting that speed back. But some big tricks in there from Logan Finch. Likely to step up that 15.42 with a fall. Stopped very early in that first run, so great to get a second run done. And representing, I believe, his first World Championships. So great experience from the young Canadian. Repping the Maple Leaf over here in Italy. Working that park, trying to get that speed with a big inward to late kicked whip. JD getting it right there, late kicked heel whip. A 33.28 definitely improves Logan Finch's run, but not enough to see him in tomorrow night's final. Camiel Wajer, champion of all of Belgium and the Netherlands. Currently 17th in the Pro Tour World Rankings from the Netherlands. Also looking to step up from a fall in his first run. Starting off big, the Dutchman. Stalling with the feeble into the 360 front flip, sticks it this time. Stomps a disaster into the lip slide on the World Skate extension. Whip rewind over the spine. Front flare on the steep bank. 8 seconds to go. 540 flare. Whip to bar on the volcano. And the front side flare finishes up. Camiel, happy doing it for Holland, the Netherlands. Getting some big props from his friends and other riders. Camiel Wajer, look at that. Such a small top deck to 360 front flip over. The alley-oop 5 flare. Camiel Wajer. Currently 25th, but likely to step up. Needs a 64.04 for 10th. Just misses out. Goes 13th. Unlucky for some, but not for Camiel. Jay Sweet, then. Another man who fell in his first run. The body varial machine. Starting off at the top of that 7 foot quarter pipe. A best trick maniac. Let's see what he's got in this full 40-second run. Pumping round back into that 7 foot. Big sweeping whip front scoot. Stomps the bra on the front side. Nothing front scooter flip. 20 seconds left for Sweet. Heel clicker over the spine. Landing a bit lower than he'd want. Bar spin disaster. Truck drivers the spine. Cruising into the deep end. Disaster round in the final seconds. Front flip out of the little step up wave out of the deep end. Looking back at some of those highlights. Just a couple too many empty airs, dead sailors. The disaster, fast bump front flip out of that tiny little ramp. Jay Sweet. Unlikely to improve enough. No, just about improves, but not enough to trouble the top 10. So back across the Atlantic now to Brandon Watson. Brandon Watson from California. Had a big first run, but a big bail. What's he got for us in the second run? Yes, the double overhead. Is that Bry whip to butter? Double butter? Crazy. Love this line into the love seat with the big old lip slide. 20 seconds left as he backlips over the hip into the extension. Flare whip. Flare full whip. Oh my days. Moving too fast for the video. Backflip drop in. Little full whip to finish up. Clean run from Brandon Watson. Definitely looking at stepping up that 30.4 from run number 1. What's he got for us in run number 2? What have the judges got for him, in fact? He's done. Semi-finals done for Brandon. But is it enough? There's the whip bar. And there's the flare full whip. Letting go of the whole scooter as he sends around the whip and bars at the same time. Backflip dropping off the volcano. Super tight. No room for setup there at all. You have got to be prepared for that. Able to do it on a dime. 61.03 sees him just short. He will not make the top 10. But 11th place, a big step up for the young Californian. As we head back across the Atlantic to Spain. Alex Perez Ortuno, 2021 Junior World Champion. Still just 16 years of age. Here he comes. Rewind, double over the volcano to start with. And big channel grab, whip front scoop whip. Into the deep end now, transferring up with the lip tap. And out with the toboggan. Sends up the umbrella and kind of brings it back kickless. Truck driver over the spine. Stomping the flare double. Downside whip on the bank, but he's lost his speed. He's calling it there. Alex Perez Ortuno knew what it took to get into the top 10. Knew that loss of speed wasn't going to be enough. Over to the Spanish camp. Get some props from his countrymen and his team manager. Some awesome parts to this run though. The junior world champion from a couple of years ago definitely has got the skills to be in the top 10 right here. Perhaps not his course, but this concrete course, no jump box, lots of coping, really bringing out a different style of rider here. Really nice to see it. Multiple world championships in BMX focused courses, now on this slightly more skate focused course, really bringing out a different style and giving some lesser known riders a chance to really shine as we look at the top of this list. But here is a rider who knows how to do it in any kind of park. Last World Skate Games champion, Jamie Hull, your 2022 world champion. Oh no, Jamie! Jamie. Incredibly technical trick, but look to have the landing ready and slid out. Those snakes leaping out, that molten concrete, biting his wheel. Slides out. And unlikely now to pull himself up. Can he bring it back though? Over the love seat. Gonna need the slow-mo replay on that one. Get it from a better angle. Of course he had all next to nothing on the first run. Fell on the first trick. But coming back from the fall there. Fast plant front flare. Jamie Hull. Is this gonna? Can you come back from a slam to make a 64.04? I'm not sure you can. Let's find out in a few seconds. No, he can't. The 2022 World Champion and current number 4 on the Pro Tour rankings list will not be in the final. Unlucky for Jamie and unlucky for us. A finals Jamie Hull, who's on fire, is electric. But not his day in Ostia. They are our first 10 riders dropped for the last time. Their second of 2 40-second runs here in the semi-finals. Those who have not made it into the top 10 yet will not make it of those 10. But our next 10 riders ready to drop as we look back at the highlights. Probably the biggest mover from that set of runs there is Brandon Watson. The Claremont local put together the first run that he wanted. Still wasn't quite enough to scrape into the top 10. But some really cool moves there. Interesting use of park. Ticking all the boxes that the judges wanted to see. And Camiel, the Belgian and Dutch national champion, getting that 360 front flip done that he missed in the first run. Super scary. Super tight transfer to transfer. Like I was saying earlier, no jump box in this park, no true jump box that a lot of these riders are used to. And Camiel making use of that crazy little volcano feature. That's really not a big top deck to be doing such a huge trick over. Chirstopher Barcelo didn't manage to step up his first run, but did manage to do a beautiful Superman deck grab over that same feature, headed the other way. Big extension from the American. One minute of warm-up left for our second heat of 10 riders to ready themselves for their second run. We've got a couple of the top 10 in this heat right here. The Pharabod brothers set big early scores, sat on the hot seat for a while before being knocked off. Number 1 and number 2 before being split and then knocked off by Danish and British riders. The younger Pharabod, Fantin, current world junior champion of 2023. He'll be knocked off that spot on Friday afternoon. But until then, he can continue to claim that. Next rider drop will be Maksim Tihhomirov from Estonia, Tom Nieb from the UK, Leander Viltoft from Denmark, and then the Pharabod brothers back to back. Montpellier's finest. Maksim Tihhomirov of Estonia is next rider to drop. Like I said in the first runs, this kid has been all over Europe, practicing everywhere, riding a whole heap of different parks, and it shows. Currently just outside the top 10, only 4 points off. Love that channel gap as a way to start. Starts in that 7 foot, carries tons of speed, and hits that humongous channel. Back into a similar transfer there, into the steep bank this time. Backside lip slide, just sliding out, but retains that momentum, which is all important. Over the volcano feature, turns it around with a lip slide, back to the 7 foot, 10 seconds on the clock. Big extension on the tuck no-hander. Inside the final few seconds now, 540 flare, sticks it. Maksim Tihhomirov with a big run there. Slight slip of the foot. Is that going to be sufficient? Let's look back at those highlights. My personal highlight's got to be that channel gap transfer to start things off. But there's a real pack back-to-back-to-back set of tricks right there to finish out the run. Did he focus too much on that transfer though? Maksim Tihhomirov goes 11th. Just misses out on a finals place. Of course, plenty more movement to come as we go through the rest of this semi-final, but we're still fighting off the rain. Hopefully it won't come and we'll get through all of these riders, but that is why we have run through everybody's first run first and then into the second runs. But Tom Nieb from the UK drops in, backflip whip on the steep bank. That thing's over 7 feet high. It is a terrifying prospect to backflip whip into that drop in. Brighter Buttercup, slinging it round like a pair of nunchucks. Bar, rewind, or bar to bar to bar, into the deep end, stalls it round with the lip. Flare, turns it round now in the spine section. Double, 1, 2, ooh, just about gets away with the double flare. Lands a bit low, but rides away, abusing that back wheel. Holds it together, Tom Nieb, with a clean second run. Looking to step up from that 37.66, the British rider. Looking back on Tom's highlights from his second run. This whip, rewind, double whip. It's the brighter butter. Wanted more than that bar spin over there, but there's the double flare, maybe just a setup trick. You see landing a bit sideways, bit low, but didn't matter because it was his final trick right on the buzzer. 54.51, sees a decent step up from Tom Nieb, but doesn't threaten the top 10 currently. So, the Danes have been having a weak end of it. Number 1 qualifier, current number 1 standing, different riders. Can a third get involved in the action? Leander Viltoft, apologies, has a 53.57 from his first run. Can he step it up here in the second? 40 seconds on the clock, in he comes. Massive bright flip, sending it out to a whip, kickless rewind. Beautiful extension. Big transfer into the steep bank, then into the love seat. Yes, deep end, landing high, tons of speed. Into the lip slide, transferring over the hip. Superman deck grabs, sending the whip out of it. Whipping downside, then rewinding it. 7 seconds left on the clock for the young Dane. 2 seconds, final flare, alley-oop, bar spin. Sticks it. He's stoked. The Danish fans making some noise. Denmark are here to play this weekend. You know they'll be back next weekend in the street as well. Happy Hjalte, who is our number 1 qualifier, is a double threat, street and park. Pulling double duty, I'm sure. Beautifully drifty, downside whip to bar over the love seat. Great way to use the deep end as well, transfer it in and out over that hip. Using the coping on the way out as well. Gun show from Leander. What's his second score then? Leander Viltoft. Big first run. Oh. Yo, Knox, our number 2 qualifier, Oiva Lettinen, out of 10th spot, now sits on the bubble. Whew. A terrifying wait for Viltoft as the final 18 or so riders drop. Who can knock him out? Timon Pharabod is already in that top 10. He's in number 7th. He'll be looking to move up the board. Great first run. Believe he slipped a foot, so let's see if he can clean things up. Transfers in to the steep bank, alley-oop 270 into the lip slide over the love seat. Whip front scoot late whip. Pumping round the spine section for tons of speed into the massive 7-foot quarter pipe. Double overhead. Tricking into the flare, drifting across the spine with the board slide in the deep end now. Inward, tail grab. Plenty of space out the top of that 10-foot pull coping as well. Back in one more time with the alley-oop pocket. Oh my days. Yes, Timon. What a way to make 40 seconds disappear. So much speed, tons of amplitude. Definitely a step up from his first run in my eyes. We'll see what the judges say to that. Hug from his brother. Can he overhaul him in the battle of the Pharabods right here? Fantin had the first say in the first run. Can Timon the Elder bring it back in run number 2? Needs an 81.45 to go into first, but could step it up with anything above 77 would see him move up the board. An 81.86 puts Timon Pharabod into the lead. Oh my days. Yes, Timon. Judges really loving that speed, amplitude, and use of park. All right. Pharabod to Pharabod. Fantin's ride now. Took the number 1 spot before being knocked off by 4 separate riders over the last runs, including his brother. What's Fantin got for us? Run number 2. Oh yeah, already stepping up the difficulty. So many bar spins. Pumping round the spine corner, back into that 7-foot again. Yo, just pauses up there, so much height, but landing a little bit low. Flare bar spin into the steep bank with a transfer out of the quarter. Alley-oop lip slide, 270 and in, 180 and in. Snatches the bar spin out of the inward, way above that 10-foot coping, into the final 5 seconds. Can he carry the speed? Front side lip slide out of the whip. Oh! How did you get away with that, Fantin? Like a cat losing one of his lives right there. Absolutely outrageous to ride out of that, Pharabod. Whew, he knows he diced with death right there. The whip back lip in the deep end, 10 feet. Look at that, the bar spin with the scoot upside down. Letting go. Pausing, looking down, saying hey to the airplanes up there at 50,000 feet. 81.5 slots in second, just behind his brother. Pharabod split by 0.36 of a point. Judges loving the Montpellier style right here, bringing it from the south of France to just outside Rome on their ocean. They can gaze across at Montpellier on a clear day. Colin Mclean then, the US rider with tons of style. Pocket air. Whoosh, did he catch the coping right there? No way. Started off with the pocket air toboggan, absolutely gorgeous, but not quite feeling it here. Lots of cases. Backflip inward to tail whip out over the side of the volcano. Backflip toboggan the spine. Give me Tristan Anderman vibes right there. Oh, Colin wants to do something for the crowd. It's after time. What's he got for us? Oh. Colin knew he didn't have the run he wanted there. Wanted to do something for the crowd. Every time I've seen this guy in person, he's always had that attitude. Not going to be a finalist tomorrow. But still got a great attitude. Still going for it. Yeah, just that dead sailor there. Just didn't set him up right. The backflip toboggan was beautiful though. Over that tight spine. 540 bars. Getting hugs from his teammates, giving them props, getting them ready for their runs. But Colin Mclean will not be a finalist in the 2024 World Skate Games Scooter World Champion final for men. Christian Contreras, we go America to America. Christian, near the bubble, in 9th place with a 70, needs to improve right here. He wants to guarantee a spot in tomorrow's final. Starts off well, really nice line. A lot of the Americans been using that line. Whipping into the lip slide. Into the deep end now. Pumping round. Back towards the volcano. Sends out the big Superman. Think he got a whip out of that, but no! Slides out. Uses those knee pads. Not what the judges want to see. Christian Contreras currently sits 9th, but a lot of dangerous riders to come. Not quite on the bubble. Little bit of wiggle room. Could we see Christian Contreras go through with that first run score of 70.86? There's that whip in to Superman deck grab and then sending it back. Really like that angle. Lots of Christian Contreras fans. JD getting them revved up. The US fans making tons of noise as we head across the Atlantic to Harvey Perkins. Perkins also near that bubble. A little bit more comfortable, sat in 7th place currently. A solid first run score, really nice clean run from Harvey Perkins, but can he increase that difficulty? Believe already adding it right there on that first drop in. Bar whip bar, snatching it on the transfer, flaring it on the steep bank. 360 double bar to late bar, no way! That is crazy. Yes, Harvey definitely stepping things up here. Wants to move up that top 10. Wants to be more comfortable with plenty of riders left to come. Yow! Harvey Perkins throwing down. Can he get the last flip? Bar. Yow! Stomps it. Harvey Perkins is having a day of it today. 2 clean runs. Feeding off that Pharabod energy right there. Definitely big step up in difficulty right there. Adding a lot of extra combos in. And doing it all with plenty of speed, style, and amplitude. Looking back at that run then. Love this. I believe that's 360 double throw bar to bar. And there's the bar backflip. Getting pretty off axis there actually. Using as much drift as he can. 76.77 is a solid first run score. Sees him in 7th, but not entirely safe. 81.86 to take the lead. That's a big ask. But could he do it? Goes into 3rd with an 81.46. We've now got 5 scores on 81. Very hard to split at the top of this semi-finals. Top 5 all ranked within 1 point. Within just over 0.5 of a point. Unbelievable. Nils Qvarford. We're really talking about those bubble riders at the moment. 7th place again for Nils Qvarford. Needs to step it up if he wants to guarantee a place in the final. Yes! Stepping things up for sure. Using that, what I'm seeing as the American line right there. 30 seconds left. When he finishes it, oh, Nils going all out right here. He's already got that top 10 place so far, but wants to work his way up. Round the corner with the lip slide, but slides out. No, that was a heater on the way right there. Dude throwing fastballs left, right, and centre, straight down the middle, right past the batter, until he gets to that pool coping. A real different texture right there. If you've never ridden a pool coping before, so it's, instead of the metal coping of a standard skate park quarter like the rest of this course has got, that's got a concrete pool coping, which has got a lot more texture, harder to slide over, and a little bit less consistent. You've really got to know it well to get it consistently. And it just snatching Nils' scooter out from underneath him there, sending him down the quarter pipe on those pads. Oh, unlucky from Nils. From 7th place currently to 8th place currently will be Roomet Saalik. A lot more in the tank for this guy. The Estonian has been at the top of the world rankings for years. Double duty on scooter and BMX. 720 bar over the volcano to start with. This guy spins like a top. Tuck no hander in the pocket air. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, gets the whip, but looks sketchy over the volcano. Can he pull it back now? Love this line. Whipping out of the little kicker made out of that coping. Backside board slide. Round the corner on that pool coping we were talking about earlier. Whip lip. Cruises with the whip. Into the flare whip. Tuck no hander. Oh my days. Big downside heel whip. 180 tuck no hander to fakie. Sticks it. Yes, definitely had a better flow in that run than he had in his first one. Just had that one sketchy landing over the volcano, but I believe he kept both feet off the floor. The Estonian. Really looking forward. Really hope he makes it to final. Always step things up in the final. And loves a bowled out course like this. Remember commentating on the Action Space Invitational a few years ago. Adrenaline Alley uses the course in a way unlike anyone else. 77.74 gets him slightly safer. Just moves up one place. Drops Nils Qvarford closer to that bubble. 77.74, 7th place for Roomet Saalik of Estonia. So that is group number 2. We are on to group number 3 right now. These are your top 10 rankings at the moment. Pharabod's leading the way. They clearly really love this park. Timon from Fantin. Harvey Perkins of Great Britain. Then Simon Jensen of Denmark still to drop into his second run. Jordan Clark also still to drop in his second run. Jack Walsh in 6th, still with a run to come as well. Roomet Saalik and Nils Qvarford have dropped in on both their runs, as has Christian Contreras and Leander Viltoft, your top 10 at the moment. So those 4 riders at the bottom currently looking to hold on with these top 10 from qualifying left to drop. So just to go over our first runs again, or our last 10 riders. This was the biggest mover of the day, or of the group, sorry. Mr. Harvey Perkins of Great Britain stepped things up massively to go within 0.4 of a point of the top, placing himself in 3rd at the moment. Current 2nd place rider, Fantin Pharabod, won the Battle of the Brothers in the first runs, but was beaten by 0.36 of a point by his elder brother in this second run, but both stepped things up in a big way, adding difficulty to an already incredible line, snatching those late bars. Knows how to ride the bowl, the brothers from Montpellier. Here is the elder of the two, Timon, sliding across that spine. So much speed and power, pushing through those corners. Snatching the late tail grab out of the huge air in the deep end. And back in there one more time for the pocket air. Little table. He comes round. Kickless rewind, finish up for him. Your number one rider at the moment here in the semi-finals of the World Skate Games World Scooter Championships Men's Park. These are the final 10 riders to drop in that semi-final. They are our top 10 qualifiers, but still a few wishing they can get into that final tomorrow night. Jack Walsh currently sitting near the bubble. Simon Jensen was the leader after the first runs, but still needs to do some more to get through. Calum Connor definitely with lots to do to get through. Jordan Clark sitting pretty near the top. Jayden Sharman, your number one rider in the overall Pro Tour rankings, with a lot to do. Revin Cachat still needs to get in there. Esteban Clot, Charley Dyson, and Oyber Lettinen and Hjalte Hansen, all with work to do to make it into the final. So, lots to do here. Lots could change. And the top 5 currently are separated by 0.5 of a point. Jack Walsh, currently 6th place sitter, but by no means safe. Needs to step things up. Does so by starting with the inward drop in into the deep end. Love the 270 whip transfer. Big slow tail whip, super style. Dipping out over the volcano. Beautiful lip slide round the corner of the deep end in that tough to hang on pull coping, backside lip slide, out little kicker into the steep bank. So stylish. 360 toboggan, flare whip, 8 seconds left on the clock for the American. Steezy little blunt slide, 180 to fake, he falls out of it. No, that could have been the decider. That could have been what made it an improved run or a dropped score. And sitting in 6th, below that 81 threshold, is a dangerous place to be right now. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders who definitely have it in them to step up into this top 10. So realistically, from 4th or 5th down, not safe in the slightest. Even our multiple world champion Jordan Clark could be in the danger zone right here. The bubble, you're normally talking about 8th, 9th, 10th place, but right now we're talking about 4th and down. So Jensen was our leader after run number 1. Leader in our hearts with that roar like Mufasa as well at the end of his first run. The Danes out in force here. World Skate Games Italia 2024 as they make some noise for Simon Jensen. Dropping in huge amplitude, carrying lots of speed, but losing it a little bit over that volcano. Bry flip whip rewind. Bar spin backlip over the love seat. Whip front scoot into the steep bank. Into the deep end now with the alley-oop air. Ten seconds left on the clock. Over the hip into the front side lip slide. Tons of speed once again into the steep bank. Fast plant front flare. And a 540 flare on the buzzer. Simon Jensen throwing down another heater right there. Looks up at the Danish fans. That slip out of the park will not be counted as after the buzzer. Got that 540 flare to finish up. Simon Jensen, your first run leader. No longer in the lead, still right up there in the top 5, separated by absolutely nothing. Fast plant front flare straight into the 540 flare. So little time to prepare. Whew. Just about holds onto it. He's not going to step up that big first run score though. That was a huge score. Cleaner run. Slightly more speed and amplitude, I think. Lost a bit of speed early on in that run. Calum Connor Currently sits way outside the top 10 in 27th, but with so much potential to make it in there. He is one of the danger men right now. The young Brit starts in the railings on top of that super tight World Skate quarter in the corner of the park. In he comes, massive transfer with the buttercup to start off with. Huge amplitude on the 7 foot. 360 front flip, sticks it. Crazy tight to pull off that move. I've seen him do that over the biggest gap I've ever seen, and now doing it over one that does not have enough space to do that at all. Into the deep end now, front side lip slide, round the pool coping, back into the volcano, transferring. 10 seconds left as he moves into the spine. Heel whips, rewinding into the whips. Can he get anything on the buzzer? No. Gets that run cleanly though. That 360 front flip. Love the transfer in. Love the amplitude. Great use of the deep end. Feel like he needed something on the buzzer though to really cement that as a full run. Like, you can see those little ways that riders gain speed by landing higher than they take off on that bank, lying right up with their back wheel on the top of that coping to make sure they can pump down, use the most gravitational force they possibly can. And this is why, people, I am not a judge, because he didn't need something to sign off that run at all. An 83.40. Huge difficulty whilst using that park in an amazing way. Calum Connor moves into the lead, puts himself safely into tomorrow's final. Now, a man that I would not have thought would be in danger with that 81.33 now sits only 4 places above qualification for the final. He needs to improve right here. Backflip drop in from the multiple world champion Jordan Clark, and reigning. Will he be retaining that tomorrow night? Will he even be there to do it? Let's see. JC now, keeping it flowing. Double flare. How does he retain the speed out of the double flare like that? 360 bar spin, leg sweep into the deep end now. Inward, late kickless whip to reel it back in. Front flip with the whip. Adds the whip this time. Add in difficulty, wanting to make sure he can step up that score. Needs to keep it clean right here though. Fast plant front flare, sticks it right on the buzzer. Jordan Clark was sitting pretty with an 81.33, but somehow that has all of a sudden got very, very tight at the top. The top 6 set all above that 81 mark. Skinning his hand perhaps on a little flare to finish up. That was after the buzzer, so will not hit his score. But hopefully no injury picked up for if he does make it through to finals. Love that truck driver with the extra bar. There's the dub. Sticks it high to carry the speed through to the 360 leg sweep bar. Jordan off to get checked over by the medics. Skin and a hand by looks things. Unlucky. Not what he wanted to do ahead of finals tomorrow. Does step up into second place. Breaks that 82 mark. What he needed to do to qualify. Real fingers crossed for him that he doesn't carry any injury through to tomorrow. Team GB hands over then to Jayden Sharman, your current #1 in the Pro Tour rankings, but he is going to find it hard to hold on to that ranking if he doesn't make it through to tomorrow's finals. In he comes. He won in Barcelona last year. He second at FIS and World Championships last year. Needs to get into that top 10 after a fall in his first run. Huge transfer into another. This is what we want to see from the man from Corby in the UK. Moved to just outside Adrenaline Alley to work full time on improving his skills. Into his final 10 seconds now. 5 flare over the spine with a whip rewind. 6 seconds on the clock. Front flare, sticks it. And he's going to call it there. Oh. Clean second run from Sharman, a consummate professional. But this is so tight at the top. Needs a big step up right here to move into that top 10. Very, very tight contest at the top right now. Sharman, your Pro Tour ranking #1, looking to make it into the top 10. Love this transfer. Buttercup, quarter to quarter, over the steep bank, straight into the love seat gap. The straight front flare, no fast plant. Looking to improve on a 40.99. Needs 70.86 to make top 10, but wants a lot more than that to be comfortably within that top 10. Goes 79.58. It's good enough at the moment, but comfortable, I'm not sure. Revin Cachat currently sitting in 20th. Again, another rider we would expect to be making this top 10. Finals in Barcelona last year. Currently sitting 13th in the Pro Tour rankings. The man from California, what's he got for us in his second run? Beautiful transfer into the 7 foot to start things off. Drifty flare transferring into the steep bank. The backside lip slide that caught him out. Sorry, the front side lip slide that caught him out in the first run. Took a big slam, bounced back from that well. Flare whip. Whip to bar over the spine. Double overhead transferring over the volcano, into the big volcano. Wanted more out of that for sure. Frontside lip slide once again into the pocket. Front flip over the volcano. Landing a bit deep into the 540 flare on the buzzer. Revin Cachat with a clean second run and the big let's go. Doing it for California with the ripped up threads, but staying on 2 feet, staying on 2 wheels this time. They took that brutal slam, the nastiest slam of the first runs for sure, right out at the top deck of the deep end. Here's the front flip. Such a tight ramp to get that rotation on. Needs a 77.18 to go 10th, but like I say, really, really tight there, and still some big names to come who haven't put themselves in that top 10. Dyson, Hjalte, Clot. No, Cachat misses out to his countryman. Qvarford sits on the bubble. 74.61. Revin Cachat misses out of finals. Another Omni finalist is next to drop. He's always there or thereabouts. He won in Montpellier a couple of months ago. Esteban Clot currently sits in 24th. Well capable, and you'd think this was his absolute dream park for a World Championships. Big, floaty, speedy lines are exactly what he loves. Head straight into the deep end. So much speed into the love seat gap with the huge flare. Pumping around once again. Back the other way. Whip kickless rewind. 20 seconds left on the clock. Beautiful pocket air with the whip front scoot. Bar twist to whip kickless rewind over the volcano. Spending so much time in the deep end here. So much time above coping. Round with a lip slide over the pool coping. Triple whip. And that's time for Esteban Clot. So much speed and style. Did he have enough substance and difficulty there though? He looks absolutely like a flying bullet round those corners, but does he spend a lot of time building up speed? That flare though, spots the landing so early, just sees himself in, and then straight back to hit it the other way with the kickless rewind. This pocket air whip front scoot, unbelievable. Misses the corner entirely. Goes flat to flat. That is how you do a pocket air right there. It's going to be a big step up, but it's not enough. 72.81. Some big names falling out in semis right here. Some new names in that top 10. And some established ones not there, not making it, not going to be under the lights. Now this man qualified in 3rd through qualifiers. Currently 21st. Whip, flip, drop in for Charley Dyson, the young Brit. Obviously really enjoying this park right here. Frontside bar spin over the hip. Full whip, double whip, 540 flare, alley-oop. Transfers back into the volcano. Flare whip back the other way. Oh my days! 360 backy whip, but slips the foot. So comfortable upside down in the air, but doing it over the spine like that is a tough way to do that. So hard to bring it back round, not over or under rotate. Unbelievably difficult for Dyson. But that slip foot, I don't think is going to be enough. This top 10 so tight. We've seen clean runs like Cachat's not quite make it. Full whip double. Alley-oop 540 flare. The flare whip the other way. There it is, the 360 back. He wanted the whip, felt he needed the whip. Unlucky for Dyson. Been there at the top of this game for such a long time. Still a young dude. 63.76 sees him in 16th. Another man who will not make it through to the final. Oiva Lehtinen was on the bubble after the first run. We knew he was in danger, and he is. He slipped to 15th. He qualified in 2nd, and he is riding this skate park like no one else. But has he got the difficulty to move up into the top 10? Starts with the transfer whip into the 7 foot. Over the love seat. Bar twist, backside lip slide. Longer than anyone we've seen today. Alley-oop, look back. Oosh. Beautiful. Downside heel whip to turn. Invert out. Alley-oop lip slide. Now into the deep end. Transferring round that backside pocket air. Absolutely gorgeous. 540 bar spin. Whipping over the volcano into the love seat section once again. There's the 50-50 to Bry flip out. No, goes down. Lehtinen, our number 2 qualifier. Very unlikely to make it through now. Such a tough trick. You got the scooter in front of you the whole time. So little height to make it happen. To do, especially make it look floaty like that. Oiva Lehtinen, number 2 qualifier. Takes a slam in the final milliseconds of his run. There's that beautiful toboggan pocket air. Again, like Clot, going right flat face to flat face, exactly how you're supposed to do it. First run will count with that fall. Lehtinen putting on a real show here. Great to see such a stylish rider moving up the ranks, using this park to its full capability, but unfortunately with a slam. It's not going to happen. And our final rider to drop then, our number 1 qualifier. All the way from Denmark. Happy Hjalte Hansen. Needs a 77.18 to make it through to finals. Inward bride flip, dropping into the steep bank transfer. Then into the love seat with the lip slide. Into the deep end with a feeble toboggan. Beautifully round the corner with a front side lip slide. Straight in, no straight airs here. Triple whip over the spine. Downside buttercup. Pumping round the corners with, oh, cheeky little board slide. Tough on the front side. 540 flare, keeping it going here. Not a miss there, no straight airs in the house. Backside lip slide. Finishes up. Oh, will that be enough? 77.18. Big run. for the final one of today's semi-finals from Hjalte Hansen. He's stoked. The Danish fans are rabid. What are we going to see from Hansen? Can he not believe? It's Nils Qvarford on the bubble at the moment. The American will be sitting there with bated breath. Love that lip slide round the corner. Like we were saying, very difficult over the pool coping. But did not stop. Hjalte was like a dog with a bone. Absolutely non-stop all the way through. Not a missed opportunity to chuck a trick in. Needs a 77.18 to make top 10. What's it going to be from the Dane who led through qualification, leading this Danish charge, which is a big this year. Big fans. Several riders all making an assault on this top 10. Country absolutely stepping above their population size to represent here in this final. Happy Janssen, 82.29, goes second and makes his way into the final. Whew. Our number one qualifier becomes our number two semi-finalist and will drop second from last in tomorrow night's final. Wow, I take a breath after that. Absolutely breathtaking semi-finals that sees Calum Connor, the young Brit, with an 83.4 lead into tomorrow's final from this men's scootering park semi-final here at the World Skate Games Italia 2024. Hjalte Hansen of Denmark, followed by Jordan Clark of Great Britain, Timon Pharabod of France, Fantin Pharabod, his brother, just behind. Harvey Perkins of Great Britain in 5th. Simon Jensen, another Dane, making it through in 6th. Jayden Sharman in 7th, your number one World Tour rider of the moment. 8th is Jack Walsh of the USA. Roomet Saalik in 9th. And Nils Qvarford slots through in 10th position. Oh, sorry, I don't think mine has quite updated. I don't think I've had the Dane slotted in there. So I believe Roomet was our last qualifier. Absolutely nail-biting stuff there. Hjalte Hansen slots into second. Yes, Roomet Saalik is our final qualifier. Nils Qvarford just bumped out alongside his USA teammate Revin Cachat, Esteban Clot, Christian Contreras, Leander Viltoft, Oiva Lettinen, Charley Dyson, Maksim Tihhomirov, Brandon Watson and Colin Mclean make your top 20. So let's take a look back at some of the highlights. Jordan Clark, our number 3 qualifier, really stepped things up in his second run. A very professional ride from JC. Did what he needed to do in the first run, put himself there or thereabouts, and then stepped things up in the second run. Only shame is, did a flare just after time finished, came down and seems to have scraped up his hand. Fingers crossed that doesn't affect him for tomorrow. Rest up, JC, the multiple world champion. Number 2 qualifier, doing it right at the last minute, was outside of the top 10, but sneaks, well, doesn't sneak through, cruises through in second place. Hjalte Hansen, your number 1 semi-qualifier, and now your number 2 semi-finalist, will ride second from last in tomorrow's final. And your number 1 qualifier, the young Brit, easily his biggest result so far of his burgeoning career. So much amplitude from Calum Connor. That 360 front flip, I think, really set him apart. We saw 2 riders do that, but Calum putting it in to an absolutely insane rest of his run. Really using everything, using the gaps, using his speed, using the lip and the coping, as well as that crazy technical volcano 360 front flip, setting him apart from the rest of the field, and your best run of the day. As the scooters roll out of the Ostia spot, 30 kilometers outside of Rome, make sure you follow us on World Skate Games and World Skate Official for the rest of the year. World Skate Games, of course, popping at the moment, but World Skate Official keeping it rolling for the rest of the year. I've been Todd Grady, your commentator for the day. I'm taking you through all of the scooter elements of this competition, the World Skate Games 2024. So if you want to go back and catch some more of me, yesterday on the women's semi-finals, and tomorrow coming up the finals of women and men back here at the Spot Ostia tomorrow evening. World Skate Games 2024. Like I say, the scooter riders rolling out for today's action, because of course there's skateboarding and roller inline freestyle coming up here as well. This is the home of skate park sports for